and welcome to TV1 Midday News. I'm Rex Lita. Since taking up the role as the commander for NCD and Central, Assistant Commissioner for Police Peter Guinness has made a few recommendations to boost the standard of police force in NCD and Central Province. Some of the recommendations are to increase police manpower and build police stations in areas that do not have police stations. This is to ensure they clamp down increasing crime rate in the city and Central Province.
Assuming the role of acting commander, I have made recommendations to the executive manager to increase the capacity of policing service, particularly in NCD Metro, because of the increased population, industrial development, and the demand for policing services across the city. I have made submissions to the executive management to build 3 mega stations for each of the 3 electorates in NCD. And I have also recommended that management amend the structure of NCD Central Command.
The Mount Hagen Cultural Show, set for August 17th and 18th, 2024, continues to thrive with over 5 decades of celebration. During a media conference yesterday, sponsors including the National Cultural Commission, Digital Investment Promotion Authority, and Air Niugini PX Hagen presented checks to support the event. The NCC contributed 10,000 kina, while Digital offered 15,000 kina in cash and kind. The Investment Promotion Authority and Air Niugini donated 5,000 kina each. Chairman Paim Mandimi expressed gratitude, highlighting the show's role in preserving cultural heritage and educating future generations. Total Energies, operator of the Papua LNG project, together with its international partners, has concentrated this year on enhancing health and education services within the project area of influence through its community support and development program. After the launch of health and education facilities in Wabo and Poroitu earlier in April and May, project representatives and guests came together with locals in the villages of Apiope and Evara in Kikori district of Gulf Province on August 13th and 14th to inaugurate additional community infrastructure developments.
Total Energies collaborated with Digicel Foundation to support the building of a double classroom in Apiope, a riverside village in Kikori district. This contribution follows 2 previous collaborations at Arehaba, Harevavo Primary School and Orokolo Primary School in 2019. The new building will improve the learning environment in Apiope for the 162 students that currently attend grades 3, 5, 7, and 8 at this school. Additionally, the project equipped the school with a 9,500-liter tank. Papua LNG also supplied educational aids, solar-powered lights, various stationary items, sit-in facilities, as well as an office for the 4 educators presently employed at the institution.
All the output we want, but if there is no one to teach or no one to give cure, then they are just buildings. They are nothing else. So we need you people to teach the children. We need you, actually volunteers, to have or to deliver health support. I sincerely appreciate all the efforts that you have made to ensure that these facilities are in place and will help to achieve the vision of the government. No one is left behind.
Having observed the Evara school's closure for 5 years because of the absence of educators, the project has also joined forces with the Gulf Provincial Education Division, National Volunteer Services, the local school board, and community to ensure a volunteer teacher was appointed in 2023, aiming to re-establish education at the primary school. The newly opened double classroom and teacher's house will greatly improve the morale of Rodney Taria, the volunteer teacher, along with the community. Presently, the school serves students across grades 3 to 5. The community has also benefited from additional support like water tanks and additional supplies for students and teachers.
I'd like to appreciate effort that Toto has put into making success for my children who will be coming into this classroom. And I hope that this classroom will be in good use and it will be fruitful for the children of Evora Primary School and neighboring villages that will be products of this primary school. Students of Evora Primary School, I want to thank Toto. And I'm privileged to live in a house like this in my lifetime. Thank you very much, Total Energies, PNG Limited. Thank you very much.
The facility will also be used by the NVS Adult Literacy and Numeracy trainers to conduct various training for adult participants along the Purari River communities. Maricela Kelaton, TV1 News.
Kina Bank has expressed profound sadness and sorrow to the family of late Sir Soekandar Tizandra. Sir Tizandra, the founder of Papindo Group of Company, passed away on Friday, August 9th in Singapore. Sir Tizandra arrived in Papua New Guinea as a young man and alongside his wife, Lady Susan Tizandra, established their first retail store in Lae Morobe province in 1974. Together they grew the Papindo Group into a prominent nationally owned retail chain in Papua New Guinea. Kina Bank Chairman E.C. Kelly Taureka acknowledged Sir Tizandra's contribution to agriculture and community projects through Papindo's business arms.
One of the most notable things he has done is invest and grow the vanilla bean sector in association with the growers up there in East Sepik province as well as the agencies. I think importantly, Chandra had deep belief in Papua New Guinea and invested all his money here. Also, he stayed above the political noise, and in that respect, I hold him in the highest regard. He focused on business, focused on growing the business, and focused on growing the lives of not only his employees, but the very people that his group of companies touched throughout the country.
There is increasing pressure on regional institutions, such as Pacific Islands Forum, to deliver for the communities they are representing, a foreign policy expert says. Mihai Sora's comments come ahead of the Pacific Islands Forum leaders meeting in Tonga in just over a week. Sora's director of the Pacific Program at the Lowy Institute in Sydney said, with the region facing significant challenges, including record high cost of living, healthcare and climate change, the expectation is there for the forum leaders to address these issues in Nuku Alofa. At the recent forum foreign ministers meeting in Fiji, the unrest in New Caledonia was among the topics discussed with senior policymakers from the region. Sora said he could see some outcomes in Tonga in terms of West Papua being one of the issues publicly deliberated. The 53rd Forum Leaders meeting will be held from 26th to 30th August. The theme is Transformative Resilient, Pacific Build Better Now. Strict rules governing the export of American weapons to Australia will be lifted from next month as the three AUKUS partners look to share military technology.
Opening up of defence trade between Australia and the United States is expected to unlock billions of dollars of investment. Now, the United States has very strict rules governing its defence exports, but it will lift those so Australia can have licence-free trade to 70% of those defence exports. We've heard from the Defence Minister Richard Marles today. He spoke on RN, and here's some of what he had to say.
This is really important in terms of our ability to build our future submarines, but also to pursue that AUKUS Pillar 2 agenda of those new innovative technologies. So this will see a much easier flow of technology and information between our three countries.
Now, of course, this deal goes both ways, so Australia will lift defence export permits on more than 1,000 of those, so that Australian defence exporters can send more freely to the United States and the UK. There are some critics of this deal, though. They say that it effectively binds Australia to the United States defence export system, and there are some concerns that there is such an influx of from the UK and the United States, and the concern that will have on the impact that will have on Australian defence exporters, such as the manufacturers of the Ghostbat aircraft.
In sports, PNG's dream to have a national team playing in the Australia's National Rugby League competition, or NRL, is close to come through, with Australian Cabinet's approval for its support for the cause. 2GB News of Australia this morning reported that the Cabinet under Anthony Albanese has approved 1.5 billion kina, equivalent to 600 million Australian dollars. Albanese has been pushing for PNG to have a team in the NRL, which many believe the deal is driven by agenda of national security. Regardless, it was a done deal. The money will be spent on the next 10 years after entering the NRL. The NRL is planning to expand to 20-team competition, and PNG is considered to be one of the 3 new teams to enter the competition as early as 2028. Vanuatu plans to bid to host the 2031 Pacific Games in Port Vila, with a proposal expected by the end of the year. A high-profile government delegation is expected to travel to Palau to formally submit the bid, aiming to showcase Vanuatu's potential to host the prestigious event and boost the local economy through sports tourism. The bid, which will be decided by the Pacific Games Council, is a bold move from the island nation. Despite challenges, there is optimism, bolstered by strong support from the neighbouring Melanesian countries and high-end leaders. Last week in Paris, a meeting among other sports ministers from Solomon Islands and New Caledonia solidified the backing of Vanuatu's bid. Fiji and Tonga have also submitted bids to host the 2031 Pacific Games. Meantime, Palau will host the Pacific Mini Games next year, and Tahiti will host the 2027 Pacific Games. And that ends the news update. Join us tonight at 6 for more news and sports. Bye now.